Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be pretty interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys my experience selling the same course on both Udemy and Skillshare. So I'm not sure about you. Well, I guess since you've clicked on this video, you're probably also wondering which platform is going to be the best for you as an instructor specifically. So I know the experience is going to be very different if you are a student, but this video is specifically created for anybody who is currently selling courses or is considering becoming a course instructor. So I'm going to share with you exactly how much I made my first month selling the exact same course on each one of those platforms. So a quick side note, I technically already made a video where I shared my revenue report from my first month selling that course on Udemy. And in that video, I'll go pretty much in depth about how much you make from each revenue channel because, you know, there is a big difference. And I also go over exactly what the Udemy revenue share structure looks like. So if you want a more detailed video where I go like super in depth about that stuff, I'm going to link it up here. So feel free to go and check it out. Anyway, before we start, if you enjoy content about personal finance, personal development, and different side hustles, make sure to hit that subscribe button or at least hit that like button because, as you know, it really helps small YouTubers like myself. So yeah, one little click can make a big difference in somebody's life. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this video. So the first thing that we should discuss is what my course is about, because it does very much so influence how much money you earn as a course instructor. So I made a video about job interview strategy, and I pretty much teach people how to perform well on a job interview. What qualifies me to make that kind of course? So I've been a professional recruiter for the past 5+ years, and I've successfully recruited and placed people into companies like Facebook, Amazon, Disney, Microsoft, and many other top companies. So I definitely felt like I had some experience and insights in order to make that course. Anyway, that's in case you're curious. So if you feel like you have experience in one specific area that you feel like is going to really help somebody to achieve their goals, I definitely think that qualifies you to become a course instructor. Anyway, now let's talk a little bit more about Udemy versus Skillshare. So just like I mentioned at the beginning, each one of those platforms follows a very different business model. So in Udemy, students usually pay for each course that they purchase, meaning that they only get access to the courses that they paid for, versus on Skillshare, students pay for a monthly subscription that lets them to access all of the courses on the Skillshare platform. So while it may seem like you would naturally make more money on Udemy because of that model, I have to tell you it really depends. Because just like I mentioned in my previous Udemy video, your cut as an instructor will very heavily depend on how much the student actually paid for that course, and also from the way that that student found your course. So as most of us know, Udemy is particularly famous for always running really crazy sales on their courses. That means that even if you price your course at a higher tier, so like $100 to $150, you need to understand that oftentimes your course will be sold for as low as $9.99. Now, like I mentioned, you as an instructor make a percentage of that sale price. So you have to share your revenue with Udemy because they're the hosting platform. And I'm not going to go into too much detail again, but you definitely make the most money from students that you refer to the course. So the students that used your referral code. And you make significantly less if Udemy organically brought those students. So if those are the students just discovered your course while they were browsing on Udemy. And I'm pretty sure you make even less if the student found your course through an affiliate, because then you have to share the revenue with both Udemy and and the affiliate. So here's something that I can guarantee to you. Most of your students are not going to pay a full price for your course, regardless of what you price it at. And here's another thing that I need to mention because I've been super frustrated about this. I've been monitoring my revenue report from Udemy, and you can also see the names of the students that purchase your course. One thing I started realizing is that a lot of those students are actually a part of my LinkedIn network, meaning they technically found my course through my LinkedIn page or through one of my LinkedIn posts, because the majority of my audience is on LinkedIn because of the nature of what I do. However, when I check my revenue report, it always says that those people found my course organically or through an ad program, which is technically not the case. And even though those students are very obviously my own referrals, I somehow still get a much smaller cut from my course. And I tried contacting Udemy customer service about this, and they pretty much couldn't do anything about it because they said the system says that they found it organically. So I don't know if you guys had the same experience. Let me know in the comments down below if you did. But yeah, that's something that I've honestly been pretty frustrated about. But anyway, enough with ranting. Let's talk about Skillshare. So like I mentioned to you, Skillshare charges students a set subscription price, which gives them access to all of their courses as long as they're paying that monthly subscription. So because of that, the way that they pay the instructors is very different as well. So in Skillshare, as an instructor, you get paid for each minute that the students watch your course. So the more time the students spend going through your course, the more you get paid. Another way that you can also make money on Skillshare is through premium referrals. So let's say if you shared a referral link with a student and they end up, going through the whole free trial and then paying for the full subscription, you will also get a cut of it. And I believe you get about $10 bonus for each student that subscribes. So obviously the more people you refer, the more money you're going to make. Anyway, now that we've discussed all of the things that I thought was important for you guys to know, let's talk about how much money I actually made from each platform. So for those of you who have seen my previous video about Udemy, you know that my first month I made a little bit over $42, so $42.83 to be exact. That was from 5 people that purchased my course. And just like I mentioned before, your revenue will heavily depend on how your students found your course. So as you can see here, I made a pretty decent amount of money from my own promotions, and at the time my course was only about $12.99. I have increased the price since then. As you can see, I made quite a bit of money from my own promotions, and I made significantly less from the ad program and the affiliates. All right, now let's see how much money I made from the exact same course on Skillshare. All right, so let's take a look at my Skillshare dashboard. And on Skillshare, I made $9.14. And that came from 6 students who watched my course for a total of 123 minutes. So as you can tell, I made significantly less money on Skillshare compared to Udemy. But let's talk about it more, because here's something that I need to be transparent about. Since majority of my audience is on LinkedIn, I spent quite a bit of time promoting my course on Udemy for the first few weeks. And when I finally put that course on Skillshare, I didn't want to spam my audience with the exact same post, with the only difference being that it's now on Skillshare, because I feel like for a lot of people it didn't really matter. I did make one post about it where I said that people can sign up for a free trial and watch my course. So as I can see, a few people did sign up. However, I didn't really make money off of it, just because I assume people didn't end up paying for the premium subscription, which again, it does happen and it's totally understandable. Something that I really want you guys to know is that regardless of which platform you pick, you are going to have to spend a significant time at the beginning promoting your course to your audience or to, your friends and family. Pretty much like you are going to be very much so responsible for driving your own traffic to to your course. Because, you know, if you are a brand new instructor and you don't yet have that social proof on any of the platforms, so if you don't have a lot of reviews, so if you don't have a lot of enrollments, you are going to have a hard time, at least at first, selling your course. So obviously, just like with any product or service, you are going to have way more sales if you already have an audience, whether it is on YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn, like myself. And you need to understand that each one of those platforms isn't going to do a whole lot of work promoting your course until you actually have a big following or a lot of social proof on each platform. And I'm saying this because when I first created a course, I definitely felt like, you know, Udemy is going to like do a lot of promotions for me and just organically advertise my course, and that I was going to get a lot of organic enrollments. But in reality, I feel like I'm still doing a lot of heavy lifting. And even though Udemy keeps telling me that a lot of those enrollments were organic, we all know I'm not buying it. As I mentioned to you, I really don't think that's the case. Anyway, another thing that I wanted to talk about is something that I mentioned at the beginning, and that is that the topic of your course is going to have a big influence on how much money you make. So obviously, most people are more willing to pay for courses that teach them any like technical skills such as design, coding, engineering, and all those things. And less people are willing to pay for things like, you know, your soft skills such as personal development or like career types of topics, which I, you know, totally unbiased opinion, I think those things are definitely worth your investment. But I also understand how people are less willing to pay for those things. So what I'm trying to say is that just because I got a pretty low numbers my first month, I've definitely made more money since my first month on each platform. But as you can tell, it's definitely not like the highest earning report that you've probably seen on YouTube. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you are going to get. Because if you make a course on the topic that you know is in high demand and a lot of people want to learn, and plus if you already have a big audience on any of the social media platforms, your revenue is probably going to be a lot more impressive than this. What I'm also noticing is that a lot of people have been recommending selling courses to their own email list. So I'm not sure if you have heard of this or considered this, but I definitely think that once I create my second course, I'm going to just start selling it to my own email list. So if you have your own website or if you have your own email list of all of your potential clients and leads, I would definitely recommend taking your course and putting it on platforms like Teachable or Kajabi or Thinkful. So those are pretty much, you know, your own hosting platforms and where you can sell it to your own audience and not have to share it with anybody like Udemy or Skillshare. I think that you're going to be making significantly more money for that, and that's personally my plan now. If you want me to create a follow-up video and share with you guys how much I made selling courses to my own audience via Teachable and Kajabi, let me know in the comments down below. And like I mentioned, don't forget to hit that subscribe button or like button if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!